Party, Justin Trudeau once admitted to smoking marijuana. Is there anything you want to admit to here?
Well, you know, I think that people make decisions every day that might not seem in hindsight to be the best decisions that they make. I don't hold anything against Justin Trudeau for choosing to partake in marijuana use. I think that when you up the ante past that, when you talk about, for instance, Rob Ford smoking crack in one of his drunken stupors, that turns into a bit more of a bigger problem. But I think that if there's anything I'll admit to, it's that I want marijuana to be legalized.
So welcome, Taylor. Our first question for you is, Elizabeth May once took part in a hunger strike. As leader of the Green Party, are you willing to go to such measures for a cause that you believe in?
I mean, I'm willing to go to similar measures. I don't know if I could go without a hunger strike because I just love eating at Common Ground so darn much that I don't know if I could not eat there for an entire day. Common Ground is your local student-run coffee shop. Other than that, though, I think there are a lot of things that I could do that would go to that same level. I think I could chain myself to a tree if it came to that. Obviously, you'd have to use a thing that wouldn't harm the tree because you don't want to do that, a non-corrosive chain of some kind. But I think that those are things. If something required a bold statement, I'd be willing to do it.
Okay, our next question, what will you do for women's representation in your party?
Well, I think we're very fortunate right now to have a very strong number of women already in the Liberal Party, even with women on our executive. I know not all parties do have women on our executive, and I think that having strong women in our party, strong, very vocal, very opinionated women, that's super important to helping get more women there, helping get more women in our party, because when you have women in any kind of form of political representation, that speaks to more women that, hey, you can do this too.
Excellent. What will you do for women's representation in your party?
Well, I think a big part of women's representation, increasing that, is just the culture you create. I think that I unsuccessfully, to be honest, tried to do that before the executive elections, and only one female ran for my executive elections, and that's something that I think it's just all about creating a culture, create a culture that says that those, just because of your past experience, well, first of all, it values past experience and values the perspective of diversity in general. But then second of all, it just doesn't make people feel like they don't belong in the process. They don't have, not even just women, but people of any underrepresented class or any non-majoritarian political class.
Okay, our third question. A political figure in Kingston has challenged Taylor Mann to a game of flip cup. Do you think you could beat Taylor in a game?
10 times out of 10.
10 times out of 10. Okay, so as a follow-up...
And that's a challenge to Taylor Mann.
As a follow-up, if you could appoint 3 political figures to your flipped up team, who would you choose and why?
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. I mean, there's been a slate of drunks in Canadian politics. And I think that's something that can't be ignored, even though most of these people were whiskey drinkers. I think that for the first member of my team alongside me, I have to go with Kingston's own Sir Johnny MacDonald, Mayor Ford, I'm a Canadian political figure, my deputy leader, Irfan Tahiri.
All right, so our third question. A political figure in Kingston has challenged you to a game of flip cup. Do you think that you could beat JPS in a game?
First of all, we're not considering JPS to be the political figure, right? Because I don't think we can elevate it to that point yet. But I think that if a political leader in Kingston challenged me to a flip-up game, let's say Mayor Mark Gerritsen, who is he speaks too long, he speaks off the cuff, he doesn't really make sense to people, he doesn't really connect with people. I think it would be great if JPS was on his team, and that way I could beat both of them at the same time, and I think I'd handily do that, mostly because I have the best caucus.
Excellent. Okay, so as a follow-up, if you could appoint 3 political figures to your flip cup team, who would you choose and why?
So I would probably have to say Rob Ford. Barack Obama. I think I'd have to go with my mom.
Excellent. All right, our 5th question. It is a would you rather. Would you rather 1, cross the floor to the Conservative Party, or 2, room with Armin, NDP leader, for the duration of the conference?
Well, I mean, I'm a person who who likes to hold true to their beliefs at any cost. I consider Armin to be a friend of mine. I don't have any problem rooming with him, and I will room with him if that is what it takes. I would never, on any circumstances, sell my soul to the Conservative Party. I think that any MP who crosses the floor ought to resign their seat and sit in a by-election, because at the end of the day, that your constituents don't elect you as a person just carte blanche. They elect you as a person in the party that you're in.
All right, our next question is a would you rather. So first, would you rather be the final signature ratifying the Keystone Pipeline, or would you rather never be able to enact legislation protecting a national park again?
I'd have to go to the national park thing, just because, let's be honest, provinces can do just as good of a job protecting our wildlife, and they can do it in a way that the people of that province see fit. I don't think national parks are absolutely necessary. I think that provinces can take a bunch of that burden with funding from the federal government, of course. So I think that's a pretty easy either or.
And that's all for tonight. I'm Veronica Green from somewhere in that quarry.